Riya was a 25-year-old who felt like her life was a series of failed attempts. After graduating with a degree in business, she tried marketing, then moved to teaching, then briefly worked as a writer. Each time she thought, "This will be it. This will be my career." But within a few months, she would feel disconnected and unhappy. Each time she quit, she felt heavier with the weight of failure. Meanwhile, her friends seemed to be thriving, getting promoted, getting married, moving into new apartments. Every time she scrolled through social media, Riya felt more anxious. She was stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and endless comparisons. One evening, overwhelmed by her thoughts, Riya decided to take a walk in the park to clear her mind. The sun was setting, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink. As she walked, she noticed an elderly man sitting on a bench with a sketch pad. He was quietly sketching the tree in front of him. His drawing wasn't perfect. The lines were rough and the proportions were slightly off, but he seemed completely lost in the moment. Curious, Riya approached him. She said politely,
That's a nice drawing.
The old man looked up, smiled, and said,
Thank you. It's not perfect, but I enjoy doing it.
Riya hesitated before asking,
If you don't mind me asking, why do you draw if you're not that good at it?
The old man chuckled softly and said,
I don't draw to be perfect. I draw because it brings me peace. Every line teaches me something new. Life is like that. You don't learn by waiting for the perfect moment or experience. You learn by living it, one line at a time. And life is like this drawing. You learn from every line, even the messy ones. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. You'll never move forward if you're afraid of making mistakes.
Those words hit Riya like a lightning bolt. For years, she had been chasing perfection, terrified of failure. But maybe failure wasn't her enemy. It was her teacher. She realized she had been trying too hard to find the perfect job, the perfect path, the perfect life. Every time she didn't get it right, she saw it as failure. But maybe it wasn't failure at all. Maybe it was just part of her learning process. That night, something changed in her. As she lay in bed, she whispered to herself,
I won't wait for the perfect moment anymore. I'll create it.
The next day, Riya started small. She enrolled in a graphic design course she had always been interested in, but never pursued, fearing it wasn't practical. She began volunteering at a nonprofit, helping them with design work. It was messy at first. She made mistakes, felt out of her depth. But for the first time, she didn't give up. One step at a time, she told herself. Progress, not perfection. Months turned into a year. Riya's skills grew. She started freelancing and soon landed a full-time job at a creative design firm. It wasn't just a job. It was something she loved. For the first time in years, she felt like she was on the right path. One day, as she sat in her new office, a younger colleague asked her how she managed to find her path after so many setbacks. Riya smiled, remembering that evening in the park, and said,
The truth is, I didn't figure it out all at once. I learned that life isn't a straight path. It's full of wrong turns and messy sketches. But every experience, good or bad, teaches you something. The turning point wasn't finding the perfect job. It was realizing that every step, even the wrong ones, was part of my growth. Life isn't about perfection, it's about progress.
As Riya finished speaking, she saw the same light in her colleague's eyes that had been sparked in hers by the old man's words. That moment confirmed what Riya had learned. Life's turning points aren't in the big victories, but in the quiet decisions to keep going when everything tells you to stop. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Create it. And remember, your journey is yours alone. Walk it with courage and purpose.